and was surprised to see such colorful Carolina Reaper peppers for sale. These are extremely hot variety of pepper that was developed here in the Carolinas. I highly recommend you check them out if you're into heat. If not, stick to something mild like the cayenne we'll be stringing today. But look at how beautiful the colors are in this basket. Another thing I saw were these beautiful blackberries. I was quite surprised to see that this late in the summer, early fall, we still had local blackberries for sale. They were reasonably priced, beautiful, and actually very sweet, so definitely something to check out if you happen to stumble across them in the next few weeks before they're all gone. One of my favorite booths sells fresh cut herbs. The spicy aroma is always welcoming as you're walking among the booths and the aisles. It is decorative gourd season. Check out these beautiful Connecticut field pumpkins in the front and the Indian River or Long Island cheese pumpkins in the back. Both are great holiday decorations, and the Long Island cheese actually are great to eat and bake. Hey, thanks for joining me today. Something I thought about was kind of neat and always happened in our family, in our household this time of year, was stringing red pepper. So we used a lot of crushed red pepper in cooking. It was one of the few hot spicy items, especially when I was very young before I discovered flavor, that we would use. And this time of year is when a lot of your cayenne pepper is fully mature, so it's going red. So when cayenne pepper, when cayenne pepper first blooms and grows, it's green. Then, as it matures, it turns red. So something we would do is string pepper. And, my mother and I, and a lot of people in my family actually, will still string a strand of pepper every year. Just, it's tradition. It's just something nice to see. And you hang it in your kitchen on the cabinet or by the window, and, whatever. It's just a nice memory. So I thought I'd share that with you today, and it's super easy and it's super simple and it takes no time. You can use cotton thread. I actually like to use fishing line. If you use fishing line, you don't worry about it breaking as bad. So all you really do is just cut a length of fishing line or other kind of twine, whatever you want to use, and thread a needle. Let's see if my eyes are good enough to thread a needle. Ha, there we go. And make a knot at the end. I remember when I learned if you just twist thread, you can make a knot really easily if you twist thread off the end of your finger. Thought that was the coolest thing. Can't really do it with fishing line, or at least I can't. But anyway, something my mother always taught me to do is put a button on the very end so your pepper won't slide off. It doesn't really matter how you get it affixed, any old way I do. I normally just go in one of the holes on the button, go out the other one, and then pull my thread through the tail, and then it's affixed. It's really easy to do. All you do is you just pick your pepper. I did rinse these and dry them a bit, and then you just thread your needle, go through the top, and just make a string. It just goes to show you, anybody can grow pepper, especially if you buy the plants. And you can do something that's very cool and useful for your home, pretty decorations. I've seen people actually take pepper and make strings like this and use it as garland on Christmas trees or wreaths. Kind of cool, kind of pretty. We didn't ever do that. Mama is a perfectionist, so she would make sure that all her peppers are hanging the same way and, they look good. I'm not. I'm just kind of doing my thing. You do need to make sure that your home or wherever you're hanging the pepper, it's out of direct sunlight, because that is a no-no with any spices, as you know. The other reason is you need to make sure it's in an area of good airflow. I normally hang mine right here on this window. The curtains allow in a little bit of filtered light, but not enough that I really worry about the pepper. But you might can hear it. There's a ceiling fan over my kitchen table, and that allows for a lot of airflow, seeing as I never turn it off just about. And it'll allow them to dry and dry pretty evenly. The problem is if you don't get adequate airflow, they will mold. The other thing is, don't try to keep them from year to year. Use them, enjoy them, because you can get weevils or pantry moths. You know, those little moths that get, like your cereals and flour and meal and stuff. They will get in them sometimes, so just keep an eye out for that. But anyway, all you do is you just keep stringing it, and you come up with a nice string. I watch a lot of cooking videos on YouTube, and a lot of them are channels that are people that live in China or Korea, or not here. And I just find it fascinating to learn about their culture and their cuisine and just their daily life. It's kind of a reason why I started this. I thought, some people might find it interesting. But anyway, there is a type of pepper that's grown in Guangzhou in China, and it is what's traditionally used to make chili crisp. So for those of you that are a little bit more up to speed on Asian cuisine, you might know it's the condiment that has oil, and sometimes it has little bits of dried tofu and shallots and garlic and chili flakes in it. But it's a type of pepper called a chicken claw, and it gets really long, and when it dries it's super wrinkly, so it kind of looks like a chicken's foot. I assume that's why it's got its name. They're the coolest looking peppers, and they say they're not super spicy. They're not as spicy as cayenne. I have tried to look online to source seed for them, because I want to grow some and string it, because I think it would look really cool to have, these bright red, gnarly peppers hanging up that are super long. But anyway, in the span of just a few minutes, I made one. All I have to do is make a knot at the top and snip off my needle, and I'll hang it up to dry. So I use it in soups, stews, chilies, a lot of times, especially in the winter months when your brassicas, so your kale, your collards, your cabbage, may not be as fresh, especially if they've been in storage. I love red pepper flakes on all those. I think it gives it a great flavor. But anyway, how many of you remember somebody in your family making strings of red pepper every fall to hang in the kitchen, whether they used it or not? So I mentioned Chili Crisp in the video, and this is the brand I actually use. It's the fried chili in oil, and you can get this at most Asian American grocery stores, and it's the Lao Gan Mai brand. And that is actually the lady who started it in China. It's pretty cool. But anyway, this is the brand I use. It's really good to me. Let's see if I can get in here and show you. Ingredients are soybean oil, chilies, peanut, monosodium glutamate, salt, sugar, pepper, powder, sulfur dioxide, sodium sulfite. Those last two are just items that help in preservation. And as far as the MSG, that's a whole nother kettle of fish to talk about later. Actually, if you do some research, MSG is not that big a deal. It's used pretty much everywhere and you don't even realize it. But that's a story for another day. Now, what I also normally do is use a button at the very end. It keeps the pepper from sliding off. So even though you made a knot, you can't really see that, but you've made a knot. If you add a button to the end, just a regular old button from your scrap jar, your button jar, or whatever. See, it fell right off.